We have told you this before, that on your planet you had up to 4 to 5 starts of life, and then it was stopped, perhaps not terminated, but had to start again for attributes that were common to this planet. You start to ask those who study the planet. They'll tell you about it. So this is not something that is an esoteric idea. This is your science. How long did it take for life to start? You got a late start, not just a little late, but by millions of years late. And that is the way it worked. Around your galaxy there was already life that was starting, and it was starting to evolve. Back to the children, how do you think life started? I will tell you. It started with the same energies yours did. It started with old energy thinking, with greed and wars, and all of the things you've experienced even within your own history. As the consciousness, you might say, of the galaxy evolved, and within those multitudes of years, many of those planets, they had the technology just like you have, the technology through the discovery of physics just like you're discovering physics now, and there were star wars. Indeed, much like you see in the movies, perhaps not quite as 3D as you are, but definitely those who would have up to the horror of genocide to another planet. Star Wars was real. I would like to tell you something that you should remember. They grew out of it because consciousness evolves. And the longer the planet was there, one of two things happened. They either destroyed themselves, you can see that, you can understand why, and some of them did. Or they made decisions to grow, and in that they had a higher consciousness and started to realize there was a creator. You realize that? Most of your Earth believes it. You're on track with that. And in that, they started to examine multidimensional things. They found much that they never expected was there. They even realized they themselves were part of a grander plan. Not all of them understood this. Not all of them became that which you would call spiritual. It's not spiritual. They didn't join churches, dear ones. They simply awakened to a larger truth of the way things worked. And in that, some of them became what you now are calling ascended planets. Some of those who would visit today you would say are angels. All over this galaxy there are planets that understand and know a very, very high energy ascension status. And in that, they have the abilities through the energy of consciousness and the understanding of physics to actually visit other planets without vehicles. I have told you that. There are still some that didn't quite get there, and they are visiting with vehicles. You cannot assume the consciousness of any of them as they arrive and speak to you. There is a whole story about that as well. That's not the story we're telling. What we're telling you is they on the scope of the galaxy, they, the ones who have gone into ascension status and understand what is going on, are your star family. They are the ones that came 200,000 years ago and gave you the 23 chromosome attribute and setup, whereas everything was 24 before. Even science looks at this, squints a little and saying, how could that be? Somehow an intervention occurred and you have 23. In order to get there, this galaxy had star wars. Yes, they did. Warring with themselves, even up to planet against planet, even into that which would be the horror of genocide. And they passed it, dear ones, they passed it. At some point in time, they even threw away their weapons. Are you getting this? Are you truly getting this? You are sitting as a planet ready to go into that particular mode of no more war, of starting to understand dysfunction. A battle of the dark and the light is occurring between consciousness and those with the compassion and understanding against those who want to keep it in a very old Star Wars energy. Yes, it did happen, and it happened in your galaxy, but your galaxy got over it and passed through it. Now you have the same opportunity with this evolution of consciousness that is taking place. Light truly is winning, but in the process there is the battle against the dark energy of old consciousness to get where you're going. That is the truth, and that is why I love you the way I do. And so it is.